Sup guys? If you've ever played Roblox before, you've probably seen a story game with thousands of players. Games like Break-In Story, The Kidnapper Story, Break-In 2 Story, Break-In 3. So as you can tell, there's a lot of different story games. So I thought I'd try and make one in only a week. First off, we make a new game in Roblox, but whenever we spawn in, the character's just way too fancy. So I switched the character to R6 so that it would have less limbs, and like everyone knows, less limbs is better. And then in the game, I knew that I wanted the player to be able to pick up and use different items. So by using proximity prompts, I made this pop up, and whenever it's triggered, the item goes into the player's inventory. And then I made this door that opens up whenever the player comes near, and I basically did this by checking whenever a player comes near a door, there's this little area that if they step in, the door will open. And I also made this work for locked doors too, so if you try and open this door without a key, it doesn't open, but then whenever you have the key, it opens. But before going any further, I'm trying to make a story game, and right now there is no story. So my idea for the story is that you work at this pizza place, and then there's this customer that wants a cheese pizza, but you have no sauce. So you need to go find the sauce, and then there's like random things that happen. And that's my entire idea for the story. Yeah. Okay, now it's time for my favorite part, the map. And making the map is pretty much like talking to girls, because I suck at it. Okay, so I got to work on the map, and the first thing I did was make the layout for the restaurant. And then I got a little sidetracked, and I started fixing some of the bugs with the doors, but then I got right back into it. So I finished up the layout, and then I started placing the doors and some of the walls around, and then I started messing around with the ceiling height so that it wouldn't look too crammed in there, and I promise it won't look like this forever. So I started to spice it up a little bit and add some color and textures to the map. And then I may have gotten distracted again and started to work on the doors a little bit, or maybe a lot of it. But I started to work on the lighting so it wouldn't be pitch black in the restaurant, and I made a bunch of props that I put around the map to make it look more interesting. And then I started to work on the doors again, but this time I actually made them look cool. So it's okay. And just look at how satisfying it is whenever the doors open. I should just make a game about doors. Oh, wait. So now the restaurant's pretty much done, and now I want to start working on some gameplay. So I made this manager in the office that's sleeping, and then I made this customer who's pretty much just going to say they want a cheese pizza. But I wanted these characters to actually talk in the game.
I want cheese pizza. No.
So I need someone to voice the characters. Sit right here and talk like this, and just be like, like, so you're sleeping?
Don't wake me up.
There you go. That was good. So I'm taking your order, and then you're just like, can I have a cheese pizza?
Can I say please?
Yeah, you can say.
Can I have a cheese pizza, please?
Okay, and the next line.
I want a cheese pizza.
Okay, perfect.
You sure?
Yeah. So after getting the recordings for the voices, I got to work on making the endings. For the manager, I wanted him to get annoyed whenever you woke him up and then shoot you with a shotgun. And then the customer just gets annoyed. So this is what the manager's ending looks like.
Don't wake me up.
And then after you ask the customer 3 times, this happens.
I already told you.
But the restaurant's feeling kind of dead right now, so I added this music in the background, and I think it really improves the vibe. And if you like that music, subscribe right now. Okay, thanks. Also, a pretty important aspect of a game where you make pizzas is to actually be able to make the pizza. So I added the ability to pick up and place items, so you can pick up the dough and then put it here and then make the pizza. And then whenever the pizza's done, you can go over here and put it in the furnace. But that's not the right way, so I need to fix that. So to make this work, I pretty much just took whatever item the player is holding and I just put it on the stove. But I also made it so that you can make a pizza without any sauce, and if you do that and give it to the player, then you get fired again.
I didn't order that.
I also wanted the game to be super easy to understand, so I made these posters that you can put on the wall, and it would help the player figure out what to do. And I mean, just look at how they turned out. They look super professional and like they were done by someone who actually knows what they're doing. Like, just imagine you're playing this game and you're like, where do I get the pizza sauce? Oh, fresh pizza sauce in the basement. And now you'll know, oh, I need to go to the basement to get the pizza sauce. Okay, so right now, I feel like the restaurant is pretty good. But if you think about it, the door to the basement doesn't really lead anywhere because I haven't made the basement yet. So here's a 10-second time lapse of me making the entire basement. I hope you like it, and it took me a while. So thanks. All right, so here's the finished basement. As you can see, I added some posters down here, and you might be saying like, why does it say watch out for booby traps? Like, where are the booby traps? Well, if you find the key for the vault and try and go and take the special sauce, then the alarms go off and you get caught. So you need to find a pineapple, which is somewhere in the map, and then swap it with the special sauce in order for the alarms not to go off. But now we have to fix the stove. Right now, the stove does absolutely nothing. You can't even cook any food in it. And also, I'm not really a pizza guy myself, but I'm pretty sure the dough is not supposed to be standing up like this. So to fix this, I added frozen dough. And don't question how it's still frozen even though it's just laying out here. But whenever you put it in the stove, the fire turns on and then it starts cooking it. And then you can get actual dough. But don't cook it for too long because then you're gonna die. Or the screen just goes black, but it's pretty much the same thing. And right now, whenever you get an ending, the screen just turns black and it never changes. And I could just go for the lazy strategy and just kick the player and have them rejoin, but that would be pretty annoying if you're the player. So instead, I'm just gonna have the player respawn when they get a new ending. So we need to be able to reset the entire restaurant so everything's the same as whenever you first join the game. So I was just gonna take the restaurant and duplicate it and then delete the old one. But whenever I tried this, everything started breaking. So if we go over here and, okay, so the doors don't work. Can I still, okay, so you can still pick up items and the plane's still there. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Oh, and there's another plane. Okay, so it's like 20 minutes later and I think I fixed it and it's super advanced. So I pretty much just went through every single thing in the restaurant that didn't work whenever you respawned and just copied it, so it pretty much just reset it. Okay, now when you respawn, everything in the map resets perfectly fine. And whenever you get an ending, this text fades onto the screen and it'll show you what ending you have. I just haven't made the icons for the endings yet. So I did that and it took like an hour to make 7 icons. Here they are, and I think they turn out perfectly for like the style I was going for, except you wouldn't really know that this is a pineapple unless I told you. But on the bright side, whenever you get an ending, this cool icon will show up now, so it was totally worth all the time I spent making them. But now we can turn these icons into badges so players have something to work for in the game. So all we gotta do is click here, here, and then upload an image and give it a name, and then pay 100 Robux for 1 badge? Yeah, so I made 7 badges and they're actually pretty easy to implement in the game. So now we have badges that you can work for. Next up, we had another problem. Whenever a player would play the game and then leave, whenever they joined back, their data wouldn't save. But luckily, in the last game I made called Event RNG, which you should play right now, the link's in the description. But in that game, I actually made a module for saving player data. And like the great Houdini once said,
I would never make player data disappear because then the game wouldn't be as fun.
Or something like that. But anyway, the system is really simple, so I'm just gonna copy and paste, and now player data saves. But next, I wanted to be able to show players what endings they have and what endings they don't have. So I made this board that is definitely not taken from another game, and each ending will just light up if you have unlocked it. I didn't anchor it. But I got it to working wherever it lights up whenever you get a new ending. And the game is pretty much done. So I made this icon for the game, and then I also made this thumbnail. And then I sent the game to the people in my Discord server, and they beat the game in like maybe like 2 minutes. So I went in the game and I moved some things around so they would be harder to find. And then I changed the way that you got some things so it would take longer and you'd have to take more steps to do it. But I didn't make it too hard, and I think the game is still fun. Anyways, if you want to try the game out for yourself, the link will be in the description. And sorry this video took a little bit longer to make. I got a new computer, so it took a while setting that up. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and maybe even joining the Discord. But that's gonna be it for this video, so thanks for watching.